Shalom. Shalom. My name is Yehoshua ANSWERS, and this video is being made from Jerusalem. I'm a didactic scientist, and it's a comment on Michelle Obama's statement that for the first time in my adult life, I'm proud of America. Well, she was way ahead of me. For the first time in my adult life, and my adult life is quite a bit longer than hers, I'm 65 years old. I left America 22 years ago because I saw the extremes of the racism, the corruption, the decay, the nihilism, the self-hatred of America. For the first time in my life, night before last night, I watched Senator Obama. I watched you and Michelle become the presumptive candidate for the Democratic Party in America. For the first time in my adult life, I'm proud, extremely proud to be an American. I've worked tirelessly. I've made several hundred videos that have gathered 35 direct and 10 times that, about 300 indirect views in support. So who am I? I'm nothing and nobody. That's at least what I got. I got an email this morning telling me some McCain supporter that I'm nothing and nobody. Okay, so maybe they're right. I'm Yehoshua Yaakov ben Avraham, formerly Michael O'Donnell, an American citizen. I live in Jerusalem for 22 years under house arrest. When I came here, the Israelis tried to steal the intellectual property, the integration of labor, which is the new economic paradigm. I'm the author of Humanomics trilogy. It is the post-East-West convergence model. And it's comprised of two paradigms. Its central organizing principle is the new cognitive behavioral science first principle, which is receive and give, and the second is the new economic paradigm. I'm its author. I'm author of the trilogy and its two paradigms. The latter, of course, is the most fundamentally strategic asset to Americans, and I opposed it. It cost me very big. I've lived under house arrest. I had a 9-room house. I shipped here. I've never seen it. Didn't receive any insurance, not allowed to work, can't have a Tadatzot identity card in Israel, it's denied me. So they keep me on the back foot because I would not participate in an equivalent of a Pollard scam. I wrote this to the President of the United States and to the acting President Cheney, who's Director General, or whatever the hell he's called, Scooter Libby. It was right at the time, just before, some months before the re-election, and they decided it was a can of worms and it was high risk and it could produce another Pollard fiasco and scandal. So it became named in code name as Isragate. And I'm the target of Isragate. I have the extreme misfortune of owning an Iraqi oil well. The intellectual property value of Humanomics in general, and in particular its new economic paradigm, minimally is $50 billion, and some say it could be worth a couple $100 billion, such as people like Warren Buffett. But having said that, I live in abject poverty. I'm kept on the back foot, and what did the guys who were busy with Cheney's re-election after I blew the whistle and said they're scamming and they're trying to steal it, etc., etc. They ran interference. They blocked it. They left an expatriate for dead. In the DOJ, they give a $500,000 reward for anybody who interdicts or stops foreign activity such as stealing intellectual property. And so what did they do? They called in on the carpet before the election George Tenet. They fired him. And then Cheney had his henchmen, Libby and others, dispatch Gonzalez as his hand-picked flunky and dog over to the Department of Justice, the DOJ, to run interference, and more particularly to obstruct justice. And that was the Leahy Judiciary Committee, the full State Department, everywhere I blew the whistle and wrote, they ran a full corporate White House staff, you name it, they ran interference. So they left an expatriate wounded and dying on the battlefield for dead, and they abandoned him. So what was the uptake? The Israelis said, whoa, they learned that that the whistle was blown on him. It was reported to Washington, and here comes this specious dog, Cheney, and his dog pound covering it up. So they said, "Oh, we got away with it." And so right away, the doggies in Israel, the Shabakis and the Mossads and all of their mega flamers, they all ran to the other side of the street and attacked wholesale and retail, protecting Cheney now. Because, after all, we couldn't steal from this American citizen. Ben Avraham, he stood up to us. But now that Cheney has protected us, we're going to hit him really hard. And they did and have since. I was my life, my property, my name, my honor, a bogus show trial. I was criminalized, in prison for 86 days. It's a horrific story, and the name of it is Israelgate. Now let me tell you, if you want to know what a patriot is, that's a patriot. It cost me to, so I'm entitled, I understand, to a $500,000. Wow! Hey, I only lost tens of millions of dollars of market cap equity that already existed. It's been a disaster for me and my family. We live in two tiny, small little rooms, and these dogs, the only income I have is my Social Security from America, which is completely screwed up because they stole my life in Haifa. I cannot prove that I'm getting 1/3 of the Social Security that I'm entitled to. It's a disaster. And so when you have a clown, a jerk, a thief, a Halliburton ex-CEO who's pushing contracts in Iraq, 15.3 billion, 3.5 billion in net profit in 2007 for all of Cheney's cronies, with the blood of 4,000 American kids on his hands. This is a specious dog, and this is the dog that left me for dead. And he should crawl in his belly out of the White House and back to wherever he comes from in Montana or South Dakota. He's a dog. Now about Michelle Obama's comment that was made. She was right. She was absolutely right. And I'm an American patriot, and I've spent 22 years under house arrest and struggling for the ethics, morality, and values of that I was brought up with as an American. The first time in my life that I've been proud, really proud as an American, was last night when I saw Barack Obama go over the top and become the presumptive nominee of the Democratic Party. I support him fully. As I repeat, I've made hundreds of videos. Now the most significant part of all, as the author of the New Economic Paradigm, which I fought to protect the intellectual property at enormous great costs as an American patriot. That is central, fundamental, critical, mission critical. It's essential to the future of the American economy. When it comes to the question of Barack Obama and what is he going to do, not how is he going to govern, but what is he going to do, the what is Humanomics in general, the East-West Convergence Model. Why? Because, my friends, the fellow you're listening today, making this little video from his 2 little rooms in Jerusalem, when he makes a video in the future, there will be tens of millions that will view it. Why? Because I happen to be the didactic scientist, the first in the world to observe the collapse of the local reality and actually understood what it means, not only to myself and my family and my community, to Jerusalem, to the nation of Israel, but to the world, to all mankind. And secondly, and most important to Americans, the future of the American economy is based upon the development, implementation, and acculturation of a world-class global technological infrastructure based on the new economic paradigm. And that's what Barack Obama will do as President Obama. And he will implement it. And it will produce tens of millions of jobs. It'll take the American economy from 14 trillion to 45 to 50 trillion. And these clowns that have held me under house arrest, it's tantamount to taking Albert Einstein and putting him in the basement for 22 years. They're morons. They're imbeciles. And they've been empowered. They're the most extremist society and culture in the world. They incited 3 intifadas that brought 5,000 deaths to Palestinians and 1,000 deaths to Jews in Israel. And this country is about to undergo a massive transformation to become a nation of moderates. I'm Yehoshua Yaakov. I'm the author of Humanomics. Thank you for listening. And I'm proud of you, Michelle. What you said is absolutely true, and I bless you. Kabel b'shvilatet. Receive and to give, that means.